Hey, welcome. Hello, hello. Awesome. Great to see you guys jumping in here so quick. Timely people. Time waits for no person. I am so excited about this time that we have together. Spring is springing here in New York. If you could see me and hear me, just type in the chat. Let me just type here in the chat. What's up? What's up? Type in the chat if you are here, if you can hear me and see me. Tell me where you're coming in from and what's the weather like in New York. It is sunny and I can't believe it's like 68 degrees. Where are you coming in from? Type in the chat. Hello, Steve, Paul, Teshwar, Ken, Chick. What's going on, Chick? Tom, Cassidy, welcome. Paul's in San Diego. Good to see you, Paul. Ledua, welcome. Good to see you here. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. Want to give some folks here a chance to come on in so we can jump into this conversation. So as we're waiting here, just type in the chat where you coming in from. And nice to see you. Yeah, Tampa, Cassidy in Missouri, and we've got Nashville in the house. What's going on? Stas, welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. Just type in the chat where you're coming in from. Also, what business you're in would be great to type in the chat as well. Let's see who we got here. Stefan, Stas, Becky. All right, tech software. Awesome. Um, yeah, so we're going to get started in just a minute. Life sciences. Type in the chat what kind of business you're in. And hello, Jen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So let's get started here. We're going to cover a lot of ground. These 5 shifts that we're going to be covering today, I am super excited to share with you because, and I'm also grateful that you're here because if you're here, you're honoring time to spend in your business to help your business, and that's why I'm here spending my time to help you win, to help you succeed, attract your ideal customers, sell more of your solution to customers so that they in turn can be successful. So I'm really glad that you guys are here. Um, Paul, what do you mean I'm doing 3 things right now? Very funny. So I basically am going to help you guys make some shifts so you really can see, take a look at your marketing honestly. Take a look at what's going on clearly. These are the shifts that we're going to be talking about, and you're going to have some experiences right here in this conversation you will never forget. And you're going to hopefully relieve yourselves of the type of headache that you get when your solution is confused with those that are nothing like it. Give me a 1 in the chat if this has happened to you. Just curious. Welcome, welcome, Charles Clitorol. Welcome, welcome. Give me a 1 in the chat if that has ever happened to you, where your solution was confused with something that is nothing like yours. And explaining your solution is hard. It's hard to do. We're going to be getting to these 5 shifts, and you're going to make these shifts with me in this session here. That's my mission, my promise to you, to have you make these shifts in perspective, shifts in seeing. That's going to change your marketing to allow you to um, uh, attract more customers and get more sales. And again, I want to honor you for taking the time to work on your business. That's what we're doing here. Because I know that a lot of hype and brag marketing that you guys are currently doing, and I looked at many of your websites prior to you showing up today. I know that there's a lot of hype and brag marketing going on, and it's not working. Surprise, surprise. We're going to talk about why it's not working, what you need to do instead. All right. So, as I think most people are here, it's 4 minutes past the hour. I want to save you from wasting your money on marketing that is doing nothing for sales. I'm sorry if I'm blocking the screen. Could you see at least a part of the screen? Just give me a chat here. Can you see the screen? And could you hear me okay? Just want to do a check. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, cool, cool. All right. So, because I believe you've got your innovation, you're selling it, you've built it, you're continuing to invest your money, your time, your energy, your everything into your business. And so, what separates your business, if you will, the innovation around your business, and all of your ideal prospects becoming customers? What do you think is separating the two? What do you think stands in between those two? Type in the chat. Type in the chat. Again, this is a participatory masterclass. It's not a video you're watching. This is a time that we're spending here together, your time and my time. And my time is valuable as your time is. So, what do you suppose stands in between your innovation and your ideal customers becoming customers? Type in the chat. Well, type in the chat. Well, welcome, Inoko. If you can't see the screen, I'll sort of bop and move here. Anyway, so I believe, and you need to participate here, or we're going to like shut this down. What stands in the way is your message. And your message, if it's not clear and compelling and resonant, you're toast. It's just not going to work. Stefan, market saturation. Yes, Jen, too much desire to talk about the details. Yes, Becky, not knowing that they actually need your services. Yes, not knowing. So these are the five shifts that experientially we're going to get through these shifts together. That is my promise to you. The five messaging shifts top CEOs make to accelerate sales to so that you can go from invisible to invincible. And it's a lot of fun to say those words. So I have had the privilege of working with unbelievable CEOs that are bringing unbelievable products to the market. And the strategies and the shifts that I'll be sharing with you today are tried and true. They work every single time. And they've made these shifts, these CEOs, and I want you to make these shifts. So this is an example of a very beautiful website that fails on all five of the shifts. So there's nothing wrong with the design here, but who says that they're the leader in data protection? What's powerful, integrated, scalable? What are they even selling? What do they want me to do? So I'm done. I'm done with all that kind of marketing, and you should be done with it too. It doesn't work. It is failing you. It is failing your customers. And the shifts that we're going to be talking about today are critical for you guys to make. And I'm passionate about it. So forgive me if I'm cursing or whatever, because I get really passionate about helping you bring your innovation to the market. So give me a one in this is my website, LOL. Oh my gosh, so sorry. You're going to get some harsh truth thrown at you today. Uh, type in the chat, how well do you think your message cuts through the noise in your customer's world? Give me a 1 to 5 in the chat. All right, give me a 1 to 5. All right, a 2 from Chick. We got some twos. We got some twos. Okay. So if your story isn't simple, compelling, you're toast. If you don't have a homepage doing the heavy lifting of your story, your sales will suffer. And that's because your marketers have let you down. My marketers have let me down. When I say my, I've not been in the marketing space forever. We've seen marketers that you hire either full-time or agencies, and they spend the first 6 months meeting the team, looking at a lot of gong calls or whatever, rebranding your colors and logos and doing market research, but you fire them after 12 to 16 months. And this is not you, this is industry stats. CMO's lifespan is about 14 months or 13 months, I think it is. And that's because most marketers haven't sold a thing in their lives. They really don't know how to flip the script and make it about their customers, not the solution. So marketing as hype doesn't work. We're going to get into these shifts that you need to make very shortly. If you look at some SEO worlds, hello, Jen, hello, Denise, hello, Marcella. If you look at some of the words that companies are using on their homepage, God help Google and ChatGPT and Gemini, they can't understand even what these companies are doing because the language that they're using is so vague and so confusing. Like create, collaborate, communicate. Give me a break. What are you selling? So, what should you do instead? This is what the five shifts are all about. And these are the shifts that I didn't make them up. Well, maybe I did, but I find that these are the shifts that you must make, that the CEOs that are winning, bringing their innovation to market are making, and I want you to make them too. All right. So now that we're all here, here are some ground rules for this workshop. This is a live workshop. We are going to have a conversation here. This is not for spectators. So there's not going to be a replay. This is for action takers. Success loves speed and action. Ground rule number one. Number two, I'm going to challenge you here. It's going to be a little rough, but look, relax. Don't worry about it. You're not on video, you're not on audio. This is to keep things really clear. But I am going to challenge you. You will not be able to look at your homepage or speak about your your solution again in the same way. That's going to happen here when you participate. And that's a huge thing. That's a great thing. So there are going to be giveaways at the end for participants. Three amazing giveaways that are hugely valuable. One is a 16-part magnetic messaging framework that top companies are using to convert, get better engagement, get more customers showing up for demos and sales meetings. And the second thing you're going to get is the 12-part sales conversations that really should be the rubric, the template, if you will, for your sales presentations. These are not your website. These are conversations that need to be in play in order to move deals forward. And the third thing is a GPT homepage message evaluator. It'll be a link that you can use to get a full comprehensive outline of what's missing from your homepage based on the 16-part magnetic messaging framework that I developed through a few years here. So that's what you're going to get. I am not going to pitch you. Zero pitch time. Even though I'm the CEO of Pitch Kitchen, there's going to be no pitches here. But, and here's the but, at the end, I will be offering an opportunity for you to book a free marketing and sales enablement strategy session. And that's if you qualify. And so that's going to be offered to you guys. Does that sound fair to you? Give me a one in the chat if that sounds fair. Give me a one in the chat. I would like to see a one in the chat from everybody to let me know that you are here, you're participating. Paul, Jen, Stephen, Becky, Marcella, Claude, Stas, Teshwar, Cassidy, Clyderall, Denise, Nidhi. Awesome. Welcome, Tom. Not going to give you the background, but if that sounds fair to you, then we are starting. So that's the QR code you'll see at the end. And also, you should see the offer there in the chat here at the top. There's that button you can press that you could book that session with me, and that's here for the duration. All right. That's in the offer tab. So type in the chat here, who is your ideal customer? Because how well you really understand who they are, that's really your biggest competitive advantage. You should know that. Type in the chat here. Tom, Doug, welcome. Who is your ideal customer? Type that in the chat and let's get started. So if you're here, it's likely that you're selling an innovation. And it's likely that you're revolutionizing something that's happening now in the industry. Give me a two in the chat if that is you. Give me a two in the chat if that is you, that you're selling an innovation, you're revolutionizing something in the industry. So we got Chick, Jen, Nidhi, Denise, Paul giving me twos, Doug, and that's awesome. And the one was probably from the previous question. I got that. Cassidy, Marcella, all right. So, guys, are you sitting? Are you sitting right now? Because take a deep breath, because I'm going to lay it out for you. This is going to hit you pretty hard. Are you sitting for this? Yeah. This is the bad news. And this is teeing up the first shift, but we're not going to get into the shifts just yet because this is foundational. So, uh, say that you're selling an innovation because says who? Says who? Like, who says that? And so this is a fundamental shift in seeing what's different than what it is. So hang on. I'm gonna take you through this shift. It's gonna happen. This is Trisha, CEO of selling a very cool AI-enabled behavior um, technology that after she had made these shifts in the business, tripled sales, because of the messaging that they're using. And all of these CEOs, many others have had some great growth. And so just pay attention really to the shifts that we're going to be making today. They are going to transform your business. My book is coming out. There'll be pre-sales in April, and the shifts will be in this book as well, but you're getting light of the shifts right here in this masterclass. All right, type in the chat, by the way, who your ideal customers are. If you're just joining, I want to see more of that. Doug, ideal customers a brand who sells 15 million on Amazon, who's winning less than 8% share. Great. What kind of customer? So is that my brother who builds kitchen designs? Like who is the customer? Really clear is better than vague. Warren Johnson, customer before the shifts, stagnant growth, good sales. People were leaving. Value of innovation wasn't getting across and missing forecasts. They went from 137 customers to almost 3,000 in 12 months, really through brand messaging, makeover, website revamp, sales presentation redesign, and all the marketing that followed suit. Another CEO made these shifts, missing targets, bootstrapped with limited runway, couldn't invest in products without more customers, and they have grown exponentially since 2022, and that's so great to see. So this is really hard to do these shifts, but I believe you can do it. That's why you're here. You're investing time in your business because the marketers you hire and the marketers that are on your team, a lot of them are just going to market. And what does that mean? Market, market, market. Type in the chat if you know what just market means. Market, 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 market. What does that mean? It's hard, but what does it mean to most marketers? Right. Blind spots, outdated frameworks, alternatives still rule, meaning your prospects are buying the alternatives, which often is to do nothing. Marketers are going to market, which is basically promotional solution selling. Doesn't work anymore. And a ton of money is being wasted on marketing. I don't want that to happen to you. There's a huge risk out there. A lot of the folks here that also came to my masterclass last year, I think there's a couple that didn't make it. And there's a lot of risk out there. I think the New York Times, 3,200 private venture-backed, that means multi-million-dollar venture-backed companies went out of business last year. And I came across a few of them that I got emails back saying, no longer business. Innovation graveyard, I call it. So they called their thing an innovation. Was it? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but the real person that can tell if you're selling an innovation or not is your customer. We're going to talk about this. Your best salesperson won't save you. They're going to quit if you're not nailing your story, your message. Your fancy GPT prompts aren't going to save you because you're going to get 2015 answers for GPTs that are trained on 2015 marketing. And we all know what that looks like. We're going to talk about that later. Who am I? I am Greg Rosner. I am the CEO of Pitch Kitchen and a fractional CMO for a few different organizations. And my agency, Pitch Kitchen, offers agency services. We have helped, I've sold personally about $50 million worth of enterprise software and services. But before I started Pitch Kitchen, that's what I was doing. So I really coming to marketing from a sales perspective, because so much of marketing just sucks. It's just so bad. And I started out the business designing sales presentations because marketers were designing them and I didn't want to use them. The sales decks, the ones that have logos on them and just, talks about happy, happy, happy and how perfect everything is, but don't actually help you have the right conversations to move deals forward. Well, I built those sales decks and was winning with them and realized that everybody, every business, every CEO needs their team to use them. That's how we started. And then we moved into designing frameworks for website design and messaging for marketing. And that's my journey. So who is this for? This is for CEOs bringing an innovation to the market and CEOs who are committed to their vision, CEOs who are early stage or growth stage companies stalling, perhaps or plateauing, CEOs whose success depends on getting prospects to change, and leaders who are able to invest time and money into the business. Now, if this isn't you, then feel free to do something else right now. This is not for you. This is only for folks that fall into this category. When I say CEOs, business leaders, could be CROs, VPs, CTOs, Anybody in the C-suite that's really committed to their business is really going to get a lot out of these 5 shifts. So here's my promise to you. In the next 45 minutes, we're going to talk about how to nail your sales message, even if your solution is sophisticated, complicated, and needs to be demoed, how to turn your homepage into a home run for that's perfect for buyers, even if your prospects weren't even looking for your solution, why it's game over for most marketing playbooks and what you need to do instead, how to attract ideal customers into a buying conversation, and how to lead your category, even if they've never heard of your solution, and how to use AI to create a torrent of 100% on brand content without having to know anything about AI. This is a piece that I'm so excited to share with you. That is going to be the 5th shift. But first, if is this you? So first of all, are you guys down to jump into this? Are you here? Are you interested in getting into these 5 shifts? Give me a yes. Give me a heck yes. Hope so. Maybe. Give me a something here. Um, yes, I like the YAA. Yes, 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 absolutely. So is this you, Becky, Cloud, Cassidy, Chick, Denise? Is this you? Your solution is amazing and your customers absolutely love you. But most of the market hasn't even heard of you, doesn't know what you're offering, and many of the prospects that you speak to are confusing your solution with those that are nothing like it. Yes, is that you? Could be. You and your sales reps are working so hard, explaining, demoing, configuring to show customers what you're selling, but many cases they're not understanding it, they're not getting it. It really should be a no-brainer. You're thinking to yourself, your team is like, this is just brilliant, everybody should want this, but it is a brainer. You have a marketer doing a lot of marketing that isn't turning into sales. A lot of your demos and meetings are resulting in no sales even 6 months later. You have read all these great books, and hopefully you'll read mine as well. But it's not just reading the books, it's acting on what you learn. So maybe you've read This is Marketing from Seth Godin, you've read Gap Selling, you've read Building a Story Brand. But if you look at your marketing material, you look at your homepage, you look at your sales deck, you look at your LinkedIn posts, and the dots aren't there, then um, you haven't changed. You haven't made these shifts. If everybody is telling a different story on your team, you really haven't made the shifts. If you've got graphics gals and website people and social media people, and you've got different people doing different things, but you seem to be missing a single compelling story that drives your customer to make the change they need to be successful, you haven't made the shifts. Um, if you've got sales decks that look like this and like a math textbook with lots of information that are boring the heck out of people, you haven't made the shifts. Or if you've got language on your homepage like this, you haven't made the shifts. Creating innovative workflow technologies that drive. What the hell is this company saying? I mean, really, folks, come on. Now I'm going to beat up ReadyWorks only because they made the shifts and their website is awesome right now and they're getting a ton of business. But I'm going to beat this one up because that was the before. Anyway, are you using any of this self-ascribed gloriousness in your marketing? We're AI driven. We are cloud based. By the way, nobody cares you're AI driven because guess what? Everybody's AI driven right now. Category defining, supercharge your growth, best in class. If you're using language like this, you have not made the shifts and it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't help sales. Franken for slide decks, you're creating more ROI calculators and case studies, but it isn't helping converting. If you're thinking to yourself, well, how could our sales messaging be simple? Because our solution is so complicated, it's so sophisticated, it's so genius, it's such an innovation. How could it be simple? You haven't made the shifts. All right. So I got good news. I've got great news for you. Let's just check in. The great news is those are symptoms of a problem, a single problem that can be fixed, and it's these 5 shifts that you need to make. But once you make these 5 shifts, you're going to see that you'll have confidence in all the money you're spending on marketing. You will lead your category, accelerate qualification, close more deals. Everybody on your leadership team, it will be aligned and running in the same direction. You'll be able to create a ton of 100% on brand content everywhere, every month without hiring anyone new. That's the 5th shift we're going to get to, and attract ideal prospects showing up predisposed to buy. So let's get into it. The 5 shifts. The first shift here is lead a movement. I'm just curious here, who here understands or even knows what I mean by lead a movement? Type in the chat. This is not a spectator sport. Let's participate here. What does it mean to lead a movement as a shift? Let's talk about it here and type in the chat. I don't know. So if you're selling an innovation, that means that your innovation challenges something, right? What does your innovation that you're selling challenge? Everyone here, let me scroll back up here. Who said they're selling an innovation? We had seen from Paul, Ken, we had heard from Becky, Stefan, Teshawar, Stephen, Chick. You all said you're selling an innovation. So what does your innovation challenge? So this is going to be the first shift. So Stephen, what is the status quo? Describe it. Describe it in detail. What's the enemy that you and your customer both have in common? So you built your innovation to conquer a problem, an enemy. What is that enemy? And that enemy should be your customer's enemy too, no? All right. So look at what Salesforce.com did. They called out the enemy, which was software, and they did that back in what 2007 or something. Multi-billion-dollar company later. Hello. So look at HubSpot, multi-billion-dollar company. They led a movement about inbound marketing. Salesforce, no more software. Adobe, creativity for all. DocuSign, end agreement chaos. So, in leading a movement, you need to make this first shift where you're not just making claims about why your thing is the best innovation, but encouraging change, and talking about why the old way is dead and why the new way is better. So, Stephen, inefficiency. Yeah, be specific if you can, Stephen. Inefficiency about what? Look how specific these claims were. Creativity, agreement, chaos. Got to be real specific. You haven't made the shift if you're not specific. Okay, so get clear. First shift, what are you rebelling against? What change does your innovation require? What's your contrarian ideology? If you don't know what that is, you don't know what movement you're leading, then you're not going to you just can't make the shift. In order to stand out, you have to know what you stand for. So what do you stand for? What does your innovation stand for? What are you telling people to stop doing? And what are you telling people to start doing? This should hint at what the innovation needs to be. What are you telling customers to say goodbye to? And what are you saying that they need to say hello to? And it's not just hello to your buying your solution, it's the outcomes of the results of your solution. So I like to say, stop hype marketing because that doesn't work. Lead a movement instead. This is sort of the movement that I'm leading, helping you lead your own movement. So if you sell solutions, you're really going to be the enemy of the status quo, and that is okay. That is great. Giving, they travel, we give. Chick, I'm not sure what that means. Give me some more context. Denise, high volume, manual processes across human, digital ecosystem. That's the status quo. I guess I'm not tasting it. Maybe I need more context. Please type it in there. The people who aren't enrolled in the journey, they're going to ignore you, and that's a good thing, says Seth Godin. Sales is an act of leadership, and you should be leading a movement, lead an uprising against the status quo if you want to be a market leader. Just suppose that next week you were going to do a TED Talk. You had 20 minutes. What would you start out that TED Talk to say? A world where what? That you imagine a world where what happens? So this is going to help you get clear on this first shift. A world where what? Where what happens? Type it in the comments. A world where what? That's the world that you want to create, that your customers probably want to create that too. That's why they're buying your innovation. This is the movement you need to lead. Airbnb, live anywhere. Love that. And that's the vision that they're espousing. They're helping their clients create. That's the movement that they're creating. I just saw Make Your Day. That's TikTok's hashtag. That is the movement they are. But it's not just TikTok, it's Nike. Just do it. Wall Street Journal, trust your source. Um, Make America Great Again. Even Donald Trump has a great mission statement. I'm not a fan, but I know great marketing when I see it. Hit your number, Zoom info. Like it's everywhere. So type in the comments here if what is your hashtag? What is it? What is your hashtag that is the movement that you are leading to help your buyers complete their mission, their goal? Type that in the comments. What if your prospects don't want much change? Paul, great question. Guess what? They're not a buyer. If they don't want much change, they feel that the risk of changing is greater than the risk of staying the same. Move on. Do not sell to them. You need to only sell to buyers who believe that the risk of changing is not as great as the risk of staying the same. Iniko, can I have this webinar demand on my team? I don't know. Maybe if you ask kindly. Denise, make transactions fluid. Ooh, interesting. Not sure. Give us more context. Add face value to every call. Maybe. Don't know. Automate your cutting. Don't know. Stephen, automate your cutting. Give us some context. So hit your number doesn't really mean too much if you don't know what Zoom Info does. Zoom Info sells data. I mean, how boring of a business can you get? They sell data. Boring. But if you really look at their great marketing, hit your number, what are they really selling? They're selling data that helps you achieve an outcome, which is to get more freaking sales. Wonderful. I get it. You should get it too. So focus in. If you're going to really lead a movement, you should be very clear on what your hashtag is. This takes time to create. We can help you with that, by the way. Marketing is about action, about change. And Paul, you said it before. What if your prospects don't want to change that much? Sayonara. See you later. There are other prospects out there. If you've created innovation, you know there are people out there, business out there that are suffering right now because they are losing money, losing opportunities, losing whatever, and the risk is too great. Sell to those, ignore the rest. So Jeff Aronson, CEO of EquipX, before he made these shifts, confusing marketing content, pipeline was thin, losing deals to no decision, letting partners down, all bad things. Look at the website before. Absolutely freaking horrible. Nothing wrong with the design. It's okay. Pretty picture of an MRI machine. But what is it saying? Maximizes the profitability of expensive clinical equipment. Hello. I don't even know what this is talking about. After made these shifts, website, sales presentation, social, tripled revenue, 6x pipeline in 4 months. I am just amazed at the work they did. And this is the after that had that effect. Reduce your fleet costs, transform your underutilized equipment into an optimized health system. Totally makes sense about that transformation story. Lead a movement. Does that make sense to you? How important this shift is? I hope you got a taste of what this needs to be. We could help you with that, but you could do this on your own. Number one, type in the chat. Give me a one in the chat if this makes sense to you, that you need to make this shift. Type a one in the chat. All right, we got Clyterol, Jen, Denise, Doug, Becky, Cloud, Cassidy, Denise, Teshawar. Give me ones. I need ones to move this forward. Awesome, awesome. All right. Number two, the second shift, start with the problem. Okay, why not start with your solution? And this is the problem with 99% of so much homepages, marketing, sales presentations are starting with the solution. So why not start with your solution? Come on, type it in the chat. What do you see here? Why not start with your solution? Come on, folks. Come on. Why not start with your solution? Why not do it? Come on. What's wrong with that? Come on. Where's your solution here? Yeah. No context. Yeah. Where's your solution in a market like this? Where is it? Okay. It's all noise. Its solutions are noise, and there's so much noise they can't hear what you're selling. That is the reason why you can't start with your solution. Also, you can't start with if you look at, well, what sells better, um, a painkiller or a vitamin? So people are twice more likely to buy something to relieve pain than gain something positive. So if you're selling an innovation that's going to help them create some awesome thing, that's not going to work as well as something that actually relieves pain. And dialing into how does your innovation relieve pain, that is something that may take a little bit of work in making the second shift, because solution marketing won't work because it doesn't answer these three questions: why change, why now, and why with your solution. The old way of pitching is to start with your amazing innovative solution that today nobody cares about, but today the way is start with the problem, which is we help companies struggling with lead generation versus we help companies generate more leads. Give me a 9 in the chat if you see the distinction here. It's it's a flip of, instead of saying we help companies create this awesome outcome, we help companies who are struggling with the problem that they're facing. Okay, this is black and white once you see it, but you need to make the shift and it needs to show up in every aspect of your marketing. And we can help with that, by the way, but you need to do it. All right. And this is that thing, Paul, you had said it before. What happens if you're selling to people that don't want to change? Great. So put those people along the spectrum. Not everyone is going to want to change. So you want to ignore a lot of the people who feel that the risk of changing is too great. You want to educate people that are up on that curve, where they're just sort of getting a little bit cool of like, oh my gosh, maybe it's not so okay if we keep going the way we're going. You're going to influence the people that are really feeling the risk, and you're going to want to sell like hell and encourage people who feel that the risk of doing nothing in their business is much greater than the risk of changing. So give me I don't know, give me a triple three in the chat if this makes sense to you. This is a crucial piece that will help you focus on starting with the problem. Linda, Becky, Eric, Doug, Cloud, awesome. So these are a couple examples of really bad websites, bad marketing that starts with a solution. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but suffice to say, there's a really better way to do it, to really focus on the problem. So type in the comments right now, what is the number one problem your prospective customers have? Type in the chat, what is the number one problem that your prospective customers have? Okay, lagging sales. Great, thank you, Linda. What is the number one problem that your customers have? Closing deals. Okay, they can't close the deals. Engagement with their customers. So is that bad engagement, good engagement? I'm not clear what that is. What's the problem? Deals take too long to close. Very good. Spam calls. Really good, people. Really good. You'd be surprised how often when I do these workshops, the people talk about problems in terms of goals. Um, like network risk, that's a great one. But people say they want to achieve more revenue or they want to increase quality. That's not a problem. That's a goal. Oh, Chick, you did that. Increasing profitability. That is not a problem. That is a goal. Do you see that? Do you get that distinction? Operational transactions have many stakeholders and are inefficient. That is a problem. And so if you go even deeper, so what? So what? Who cares that operational transactions have many stakeholders and are inefficient? Who cares what happens as a result? Unpack that baby and see what's in that dirty diaper. And I say that dirty diaper because I have a 5-month-old daughter who's just beginning to eat oatmeal, and she's just beginning to see. So I'm beginning to see what dirty diapers look like, and there's a lot in there. TMI, everybody. So do facts change people's minds? All right. Give me in the chat here. Do facts change people's minds? Yes or no? Yeah. So this is shocking for a lot of people. So, talking about starting with the solution, you can't start with the solution because facts don't change people's minds. Okay. This is a poll on LinkedIn I did, even though a lot of people think that facts change people's minds, they really don't, because nobody cares about your solution, about your company. They care about the results, the outcomes that they can get with your solution. And people are going to believe in the things that they themselves decide, not the things you tell them. So you can't start with your solution. But here is the magic sauce, the secret recipe right here with the second shift of starting with the problem. If you can describe their problem better than they can, they'll automatically believe that you have the best solution. Oh my gosh, there's empathy. And who said that empathy here? I saw that word. Someone said that here. Yes, Paul shows empathy too. Yeah, it shows that you've been in their shoes, you understand, and that builds authority, credibility, much more than your list of logos. So, by the way, this is the after of the website for ReadyWorks, that really terrible website you saw before. They got help. It looks awesome. They are crushing it right now. So, give me a 222 in the chat if starting with the problem is a shift that you need to make in all of your marketing. Cassidy, Jen, Marcella, Stefan, Eric, Chick, Cloud, Clyderall. Give me a pronunciation so I don't pronounce your name wrong. And even if I pronounce your name wrong, I'm sure I'm not the last person to do that. Teshawar. Okay, number 3, make your customer the hero. Now, this sounds pretty obvious. Sounds obvious, right? Sounds totally obvious. Yeah, our customers are all the heroes. They're the heroes. Blah, 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 BS. What is your marketing right now in love with? Come on, be honest. Be honest. What is your marketing right now in love with? Type it in the chat. Chicky, thank you, by the way, Chicky, for helping me with your pronunciation. What is your marketing in love with? Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall. What is your homepage obsessed with? Oh my gosh, if this isn't like a shocker for you, it really should be, because this is the third shift. If you haven't made your customer the hero, then your homepage, your marketing is still obsessed and in love with itself. Sad, narcissistic marketing. You've seen it. And I don't want you to suffer from this, because if you're suffering from this, it means your sales are suffering from this. Your prospects don't see the value of what you're selling. A lot of CEOs like, yeah, let's do that. A lot of marketers say, yeah, let's do that. They have no idea how, because this shift is subtle. It's hard to do. Now, if your customer is the hero of the story, what does that make you? What does that make you? By the way, type that in the chat. If they're the customer, the savior. The savior, I think, is a hero, actually. I don't know if I'd use that word, the savior. Like, oh my gosh, if it wasn't for you, you're my personal Jesus, my personal savior. I don't like that so much. I prefer to be like you, to be more of a trusted advisor versus a savior, because a savior implies that they're a victim, and a victim is a whole other character in the story that we're talking about. um, Thank you. You're the Obi-Wan. Yes, you're the Obi. You're the who's the Rafiki? The Rafiki from the Lion King. Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins, the sort of the advisor that offers tricks and offers gifts and guides and in hang on, innovations that the hero could use to overcome the enemy. Type in the chat if you remember what the enemy was, and become the hero and the victim of the story. There's a victim here too. And the victims of the story are really your customers. I would say they are your customers could be victims, because if they're not doing things as effectively as they could because they don't have your innovation, their their constituents aren't they're limited, or they're suffering. So those are the victims of the story. The victims of the story don't have any power to make any change. Anyway, this is about hero story stuff. We're not making this stuff up. This is just classic Hollywood, and you need to do it. You need to make your customer the hero. You need to be telling a story in the voice of how we're going to make you better instead of why we're the best. All right, so I won't go into a lot of this stuff, but basically, what are you really selling? You're not selling your solution. You are really selling change. And so, Paul, back to you. If somebody doesn't want to change, you're not selling them anything. You're going to leave them alone and just give them some like things to read so they could figure it out on their own. And you're going to help people who are. So, Paul, I don't mean to pick on you, but just give me in the chat. Are we good? Are we good? Are we simpatico here? Or was I too harsh on you there? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, what you're really selling is helping people get from where they are to and what they're doing to how they're doing it to where they want to go. And your solution is just a little thing along the way, along the journey. And what you're really helping with is them to change. So this is that diagram again. This is your focus on the change story and having them be the hero. They're the ones that are climbing this mountain, not you. You just got to help them change. All right. So Patricia, I think I mentioned earlier, she has gotten some really great results, doubled sales in 3 months, and this is with some better messaging that has showed up in all of their marketing, like what they should stop doing and what their clients should start doing. And this is actually an email from her saying that a meeting was booked within minutes of posting something by a COO from a huge organization. And that's so great to hear. So give me a triple three here if making your customer the hero makes sense as a fundamental shift that needs to show up in every conversation, every interaction in your marketing. All right. Wow. We got Jen, Becky, Cassidy, Mark, Denise, Doug, Linda, my peeps. I love you guys. You are totally participating and you're going to get so much out of this. Quick take suggestion. If anyone wants to put their URL in the chat, I will bring it up on the screen and I'll give like some quick pointers for you and for the group, but no pressure. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Shift number 4, name your category. All right. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, there's a few people here. So we may take one. Name your category. So this is a shift that you need to make. So what do I mean by name your category? Look at the telephone, the mobile phone, the smartphone. Look at how these categories have changed over time. And there were leaders in this space. And I want you guys, since you're selling an innovation, to be the leader in your space. So it's typically as a prefix, like tele, mobile, smart. And there's a prefix going on here. Well, look what Apple just did by putting a prefix in front of computing. They're not just selling computers now. They're selling a computer that helps you with what? Spatial computing. You're putting like, computing in space. I tried one of these bad boys, by the way. Pretty cool. Not for me, but still, it's a cool idea in terms of category shifting to lead a category by naming that category. Apollo, conversational intelligence. How do you beat Bobby Fischer? You play him at any game but chess. So here's a trick, not a trick. It's a shift, lead a category by creating a category. And this is what all of our customers do. We help them make this shift. ShreddyWorks creates a category of smart forms instead of checklists. Clipper, video intelligence instead of video libraries. Cognition, information driven instead of document driven. Intelligent recovery instead of just backup and data recovery. Intelligent recovery. You'll see that intelligent word show up a lot as prefixes. A CCO instead of a PPO for healthcare. Oh my gosh, wonderful, so clear. It's a shift, but still in that universe. Makes sense. So there are, if you look, wonderful, successful companies that have all created categories by adding a prefix to the existing category. So now I want you guys type in the chat now. What is your unique category? Type in the chat. What is it? Give me that prefix for your category. Let me see what is your unique category. And then I'm going to look at cloud cover. Let's bring up cloud cover here in the meantime. All right. So guaranteed sales growth. No, that's not a category. Worker safety is not a category. Revenue protection might be a category. Might be. Digitalized contracting might be category. So you see why guaranteed sales growth is not a category? I don't think that is. Global content doesn't sound like a category. So a category has some unique features, and see if you can look at these. Continuous transportation or continuous publishing, I know, is used for a translation company. So I'm going to pop out of here this presentation and just bring up here a browser, and let's look at cloudcover.it. Cloud Cover. Who's Cloud Cover from? That is from Cassidy. IT lifecycle support from desktop to data center. Great. So I'm getting right away that it is a product that helps. Who is it sell to? Who is it you selling to? I don't know. So I'm not clear who your ideal customers are. Is it people that run data centers, heads of data centers? Is it CTOs of enterprises? that are managing applications. So what you're missing here is who you're selling to. So you've got three calls to action here: maintenance solutions, product and features. So this is more of a click and brochure. It's not a conversion site. When I come here, it's like, what do you want me to do? It sounds like you want me to just click around and learn more and just figure it out for myself. And you don't want to do that. You want to make it really clear to people what they need to do, with a clear value-based call to value instead of a call to action. The model. So this is describing what your model is. Okay, I'm not saying that you know my problem, and I'm not saying that you even know who I am. So you're missing a section in here. We're going to go through all the sections in this masterclass, and you'll get them in the magnetic messaging framework. That you're missing a problem section, a really good call to action. You're missing a secondary call to action here. I think is subscribe. You're missing some pieces here, and your messaging isn't active; it's passive. All right. So enough of that. The magnetic messaging framework is totally going to help you. All right. So we're talking about category here, and now, if that makes sense to you, that you need to name your category, give me a triple four. That's 444 in the chat that you need to name your category. Doug, Cassidy, Linda, Mark, Clyderall, Claude, Jen, Teshawar, you're still with me. Now we're up to the fifth shift, which is to use the secret weapon. Now this is going to blow your mind. It's going to be like, oh my God, brain melting, face melting. So the secret weapon is this. But first, before I reveal the secret weapon, excuse me, um, do you have a messaging framework document? Give me a Y or a no, and or Y. Y for yes, and for no. Do you have a messaging framework document? So have you been disappointed by the marketing content that you get out of ChatGPT? Give me a yes or no for that. Yes, no. No, yes, no. Okay. So prompts are dead, and prompts are dead because prompting just gets you marketing lingo out of 2015. Hey, GPT, 2015 called. They want their lingo back because you're going to get lingo that looks like this: unveil, delve, streamline. So, chick, if you've used ChatGPT and you don't have a really good messaging framework document to train it on, you're going to get language like this that is totally ineffective, and people just don't even read it. So this is probably what you'll discover. So the secret weapon is to get AI to write as your solution expert in your brand voice. But how do you do that? There's a process to do that. We're going to talk about it. So you may have brand guidelines, but do you have one of these? Most people don't. Some people do, and some people even get that they use it to train a GPT. So this is the secret weapon: an outside expert who will refine your story through expert facilitated interviews of your leadership, customers, using the most effective framework. Redesign your homepage, sales deck, sales marketing messaging, and make it problem centric. And use the finished framework that was written, designed, created as training data for a GPT, and to spin up a GPT to generate oodles of 100% on brand content. And I don't know if oodles is a word. That's my word. That's not ChatGPT's word, but I'm sure it will be in if you train it right. So this is our sales enablement ladder here at Pitch Kitchen. And if you see, content generation appears in the middle, step 2 of the ladder. Because if you don't do that work up front of defining who your customer is, what do they want, what's their problem, what do they believe around the issue, what's the injustice, what's the promised land look like, what's the name of the old game, what's the name of the new game, getting clarity on the whole thing. Even ChatGPT will be asking you, like, hey, you say, hey, write me a speech. Be like, well, first tell me something about what you want to say. Sometimes ChatGPT won't do that. I'll just write you a speech. Anyway, that is the problem with AI. Unless you train it, you're not going to get good stuff. So this is what a magnetic messaging framework document looks like. It's like, what, 15 pages. And this is what you use to train GPT after going on this journey to get super clear on what your story is about, your messaging, and then boom, then you have this torrent of marketing content that can be created for virtually for free with 100% on brand. But you can't skip those 4 shifts before getting to this 5th shift. You have to do this shift so that you can upload your PDF and say, from looking at this PDF, give me an awesome blog post with this perspective. And then boom, absolutely, the GPT is going to do that. And your current marketers may not be too happy about that, but look, most businesses are going to change the way they're doing business in 5 years anyway. Might as well get wind of that, get ahead of that. So this is the fifth shift, and it really the first four shifts really get you outside the box because you can't really see how customers see you when you're inside the box, and the last shift helps you explode with content. So before Masood, CEO, was frustrated with sales declining, 30 demos to one sale, large sales team turnover, anxious about a limited financial runway, and this was their really terrible website before. Afterward, their website got changed, marketing, the sales material got changed. And afterward, they tripled at bats, doubled their win rate in 2 months, and new salespeople were closing deals. Really proud of what Masood has been able to doing. You shouldn't be making excuses for your homepage. It should be a conversion site. This is the magnetic messaging framework that's in the book. I'm going to be sharing with you this you today as a leave behind. It has color by color, section by section, what your homepage needs to have in order to have all the building blocks for buy-in, what goes through people's minds as they hit your page, what they need to think about, what you need to think about so that they can get enrolled, that they take the right action. These are just some examples of some really great websites that have used that framework and that are on. Okay, so this is one key section of the framework, which is the problem section. And this is a section that 99% of the websites that we see don't have. And that is in the words of your prospect. This is the empathetic part, Paul. In the words of your prospect, what are they saying that is speaking to the problem? And as maybe even Alexa and Siri and all these AIs are listening to what we're saying anyway, they're going to be guiding people to your website. And if it's using words in their own words, instead of solution speak, they're going to find it because that's the way AI works. So you need to have a problem section in the words of your customers. All right. So more examples. This is an example of really great call to actions, the old way versus the new way. You don't want passive call to actions. You want very specific ones that are calling people to value. You definitely want a 3-step plan. Don't want to miss that because people could have come to your website, even cloud cover. I saw no plan there. I didn't see like what's this process of getting me from where I am today to where I need to go. It's just missing. And then I would not have a form for people to fill out with their first name, last name. I would just have if a booking, if it isn't just a purchase or a subscription, it is to book a time. And once they click the time, they've committed to that. That's when you hit them with the question of what their name is and what their email address is. So that's a much better way to go about. Those are modern sites. So I like to say about your presentation, you got to turn this slide deck into a set of conversations that complement what is on the homepage, but is different. Because where is the link for the booking? So that should be up there. Do y'all see that? Let's see. Let me put that up there. It should be there. Do you see that in the upper right-hand corner? And you'll also see a QR code coming on soon. All right. So bad sales reps are going to use slide decks, and they shouldn't. They should just like use your homepage and talk to people. But a good sales rep would use a slide deck to have triggered conversations about why you wanted this fixed. So, customer says, I have this problem. Good sales rep says, well, why do you want this fixed? And really gets into it because that speaks to why they would buy and why they would change. Much better. So great sales decks do that. And here's an example of an agenda slide from a really great sales deck. And it's a 3-part presentation, a 3-part discussion. First part is the challenges, second part are the solution discussions, and the third part is the path to getting there. Very natural. It echoes the natural way people communicate, and that's the kind of sales deck you should have. So just to recap, the secret weapon has 3 parts. You need to refine your story through expert facilitated interviews, redesign your marketing, use the finished framework as training data for GPT to generate a lot of great stuff. So this is what I promised you here. I wanted you to get how to nail your sales message through these shifts, how to turn your homepage into a home run, why it's really game over for traditional marketing, how to attract ideal customers into buying conversations, and how to use AI to create a torrent of amazing content. That is what I have for you. You've got to do these things. Make these shifts. Lead a movement. Start with the problem. Make your customers the hero, making you the guide. create a prefix for your category so you have an independent, unique category, and use the secret weapon. So now you have a choice. There's the QR code for you if you didn't find the booking link. Look, you can go it alone and you can make these shifts on your own. You absolutely can. But you would collapse the time and I believe collapse the cost if you get expert help. So here's what I have for you. Scan that QR code and you book a call. I've set aside 45-minute calls for this group over the next 7 days. And we'll get on the call. We'll have a personalized sales and marketing gap assessment, discussion. I'll offer some recommendations and we'll get a game plan on getting it done. And it's absolutely free if you qualify. And again, the qualification we talked about, you got to be, you're probably here, you're probably qualified because I told you all to get out if you're not before. All right, so here's the giveaway time. I'm going to give it to you now. We are at the 5 o'clock time, the 16-part magnetic messaging framework. I'm going to put that in the offer side here now. All right, so you should see a handout there. That is the 16-part magnetic messaging framework document. And click on that. Just tell me in the chat if you're able to get that. And the next thing here is a 12 sales conversation list that opens minds and close deals. This is the template, if you will, that you need to use for your sales presentations. And this is also in the book. I'm going to put the link here in the chat. And this is a link to a single slide that gives you that framework. And so that's the second giveaway. And the third giveaway is the GPT homepage messaging evaluator. So I'm going to put the chat in the link, the chat in the chat. Blah, I'm talking so fast, way ahead of myself. I'm going to put the link in the chat for that messaging evaluator. You could run that yourself. There it is. It's chat.openai.com. It is a GPT that I created with the magnetic messaging framework. And if you don't pay the $20 per month of OpenAI, and I suspect that many of the people don't because you've got Gemini, you've got Anthropic, you've got other AIs you could use. But if you do, you can get that. If you don't have it and want to get your messaging evaluated through this magnetic messaging framework by the GPT, then just email Molly at pitchkitchen.com. And let me just put that here, Molly at pitchkitchen.com. I put her email here in the chat. You email Molly, say, Molly, what's up? Give me the GPT homepage message evaluation on my homepage, and Molly will send that to you. So yeah, that's the giveaway time. Just confirm with me that you got it. Looks like you did. Okay, so if you don't hire an outside expert, you're going to struggle to do this alone. Your marketers aren't paid to take an opposing view. We will. We're going to take the view of the naysayers, of the people that confuse your solution with those that are nothing like it. We're going to, you're going to go back and forth between good opinions, and here you won't. You'll likely be using with other marketers that aren't using the proven positioning frameworks, and you continue to waste money on marketing that doesn't work. So I like to say, don't hire a marketer, hire a sales enabler, because that's the purpose of marketing, is to enable sales. There's the QR code. If this is appropriate for you, I would love to help you get your arms around your sales marketing messaging and get it right so you can get more sales. Because the people that we work with are people who are bringing innovations to their customers because they love their customers just as I love you guys. And you probably do what you do to help your customers honestly break through the old way, the stuff that's holding them back, and giving them the tools, the solutions that they can so that they can be successful. And if that's you, we are in simpatico because that's why I'm in business here. So again, do not book if you don't have a viable product, don't have happy customers, because that's not a good fit. Don't book if you aren't committed to your vision. Don't book if you're okay with your business, where your business is. Let's get back to your question, Paul. And I love that you asked that question about what do you do if people aren't willing to change. If you're okay with where your business is, it's not healthy to have a conversation. Just run, just do what you can. If you aren't challenging the status quo, so don't book if you're not challenging the status quo with your innovation. Because if you are selling an innovation, then you are challenging the status quo. And don't book if you can't invest your time, because it's going to take a little bit of your time, not too much, a little bit of your time to help like navigate this, but we can handle most of the dirty work there in if you work with us. Success loves speed and action, and I love you guys. Here is the booking time. So now let's pivot. Let's talk a little bit about the 5 shifts. Talk to me. What was the shift that kind of caught you by the bullhorns? Was it the diaper comment, the poopy diaper? What was the conversation we had that was like, oh gosh, I really, missed this, and now I see. Type in the chat. Type in the chat. What was the big aha moment for you? This is very helpful, Nico. I'd appreciate if you kindly share the webinar on demand. Maybe I'll give it some thought. Thank you for the asking kindly. Lead a movement, Doug. So say more. That's great. So tell me more about why that echoed with you. Painkiller versus vitamin. Yeah, that's a people buy painkillers more than they buy vitamins. Becky, I need more of a radical leader. Yes, you do. You do, Becky. If you believe in the product that you're selling, Becky, you believe that you're helping your customers. By darn it, God darn it, jump out there and be a rebel. Lead a freaking rebellion against the enemy, which is holding your customers back, and which your product, your solution is helping them overcome. So go for it. Grab the bull by the horns. Love that. Linda, chaining ChatGPT. Yes, a lot of people here, I've been, devouring with immense curiosity and passion using AI, because I believe in by 2030, there are going to be 2 types of businesses. There are going to be businesses that are using AI, and they're going to be out of business, basically. So every CEO should be looking to how do we use AI? And I'm basically telling you, here's one way you can use it, but garbage in, garbage out. You got to train the AI. It's not about prompting. Prompt engineering is dead, because AI will tell you how to prompt. And if you've experimented, you'll know this to be true. What does work is training. Teach teach the AI what perspective to have. Once it has the perspective, it will honor that perspective and amaze you with great content. But the work has to happen first. So thank you, Linda, for that being thumbs up for Linda, and oh, heart for everybody here. Where's the heart? Yeah. Where's my heart thing? Oh, yeah, there it is. Cassidy, Linda, Jen, for talking about that. So Dida on the painkiller. Yeah. Uh, Clitorol, secret weapon section. Yeah, that was certainly about the GPT. Lewis, start with the problem and making the customer a hero. A very thought-provoking question was identifying their number one problem. Yeah. So, people say, oh, we got so many different customers. Every customer has a different problem. Like, oh my God. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Put in your mind, create a palace. No, create a beautiful conference room, and put in that conference room pizza and chips and wine and beer, and put in your mind all your beautiful customers in that conference room. And now ask questions to those people in that conference room where everybody's hand is raising. It's like, do you guys want to lower the cost of this? Do you guys seeing this in your business? Get virtual hands by everybody. And once you do that exercise, you will see that you can come to the number one problem that all those hands will be raised at. And that's an exercise that we go through with our customers, and it's awesome. All right, would like to hear what would my TED Talk be? I don't know, but I feel that TED Talks are cool to watch. But when's the last time you watched a TED Talk and took any action? I remember the one where you actually put your hands up, the warrior pose. I think that's the only TED Talk I took that took action. So I believe that TED Talks are designed to spur ideas, but not to get anyone to take any action. And I believe that you're in business because to help your customers to take action. And so I wouldn't do a TED Talk, because I don't believe that TED Talks are designed to get people to take action. I would I'll do a webinar like I'm doing right now with you to get you guys to take the action that you need so you can be successful. Boom, mic drop. I'm sorry. I got a little high on myself with that answer, but I should be all humble and stuff. But no, I don't. TED is amazing. TED, I love to watch TED Talks. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to put TED Talks in the context of marketing. TED Talks are not marketing. And I used the commented about what your TED Talk would be about, just to get you to get clear of what your leadership movement needs to be for your industry. Does that make sense? And Nico, give me a yes if that makes sense for you. Yes. Cool. Oh my gosh, we're at 5:09. I love you guys. We're going to wrap up right now. So I want to wish you well. Hope you booked a call. If not, run with these ideas, create great business, be successful, and keep on rocking in the free world. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Aniko, Cassidy. Thanks, Jen, Becky, Aniko, Linda, Doug, Mark. Who else we got here? Denise, Stefan. We've got, uh, yeah, that's about it. See you guys.